Welcome you guys. So today's video is going to be about a few different things. We're going to go over Surya Namaskar A, Surya Namaskar B, and we're going to go over a Vinyasa, which is a part of Surya Namaskar A and B. So I'm basically going to just show you how sometimes when you're in a yoga class, we tend to see a teacher and they say, you know, move through your Vinyasa. What does that mean exactly? You might know what a vinyasa looks like, but you might not know that there's different options for you to take. You don't always have to take the full whammo, jammo, buff it out vinyasa. You can always tone it down a little bit. You can always add more to it if you want to. No matter what yoga class you're in, whether it's mine or anybody else's, it is your practice. That does not change. So it's good to know different options and different things that we can do. Maybe when I don't, or another teacher might not cue those options at that exact moment in time. It's about knowing your body, having the knowledge of things that you can do, and kind of listening to yourself and what your body's telling you at that time. So we're going to get right into it. We're going to start by standing at the top of the mat. We'll warm up while we're moving through these sequences, so don't worry about that. You don't need any props today. So just yourself, your yoga mat, anything else that might make you happy. Like I have my Kingsley here. So we'll get started standing at the top of the mat, finding your mountain pose. So in mountain pose, a lot of the times people might say to bring your feet about hips distance apart. When people say that, they mean maybe 2 fists in between your feet. If you can't really figure what hips distance is, you can kind of do like an eye measure and see. But if that's not comfortable for your feet, if you'd rather them be a little closer together or a little further apart, then take that variation instead. It's okay. We're just standing. We are trying to feel grounded in this stance. We're trying to feel nice and tall. So that's why we do say feet under the hips, because a lot of the time that helps us to feel grounded. But that might not be the case for you. So find what works for you. Find that space. Let your hands relax by your sides. Shoulders relax down the back. Now from here, a little bend into your knees. Tailbone reaches towards the earth. So it's kind of like where instead of flicking the tailbone up, we're going to curl the tailbone down. It's almost like a little squeeze of the glutes of your butt cheeks to allow the tailbone to reach down towards the mat. Just a moment here, kind of feeling this nice, sturdy, foundational pose. It's Tadasana, or mountain pose. On your next inhale, we'll reach the arms up to the sky, finding our way to our forward fold. Now this is the beginning of our Surya Namaskar A. So we'll hinge from the hips, find a forward fold. You can always bend the knees as much as you'd like to. So your legs do not have to be stick straight. It's actually a little better if we have a little bend into the knees, but maybe yours is a little bit deeper than a little, no big deal. You can bring the hands, so find your fold, whatever that looks like. And then we'll take an inhale. Hands can come to the earth as you lift up halfway. Maybe your hands come to your shins as you lift up halfway. Maybe your hands come up to your thighs as you lift up halfway. So that's on the inhale. And then as you exhale, we bend into the knees as deeply as you need to plant the hands to the earth. So I'm going to walk us through the first option for this Surya Namaskar A. So we'll step back to our tabletop. So the feet step back, and then we'll lower the knees so the knees come underneath the hips. Awesome. Hands are going to be underneath the shoulders, so you might need to adjust that. And then we'll take a cat-cow. So for the first option for this vinyasa part of this Surya Namaskar A sequence, we're going to take a cat-cow. So as you inhale, you drop the belly, flick the tailbone up to the sky. And then as you exhale, curl the tailbone down as you round the spine. This is your cat pose. Tuck the toes, keep the spine rounded, and then lift the knees up and start to straighten the legs as the hips reach back and up to your down dog. Press the mat away. Straighten the arms. The elbow creases kind of curl to face the front of the mat. In your down dog, your knees can be as bent. Again, just like we were in our forward fold, your legs do not have to be stick straight. Your heels can be lifted. The heels do not have to touch the mat. So find that space that works for you. We'll take a big breath in and a full breath out. Awesome. For this first one, we're all coming to the front of the mat. So for the first journey, we'll take a walk. As you take a little steps up to the front of the mat, maybe you come onto your fingertips, keeping those knees bent. Inhale, lift up halfway, so hands to the earth, to your shins, to your thighs. Exhale, fold forward. Ground down through the feet. Inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. Exhale, hands into your heart. Or maybe you like the hands to come down by your sides. So we find that mountain pose once again. Adjust the feet however you'd like to. And settle for a breath. Awesome. Take an inhale. When you're ready, we're going to move through that 2 more times. Each time we're going to change the vinyasa part of this sequence. So as you inhale, we'll reach the arms up to the sky. Exhale, hinge from the hips, fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands. So remember, the first option was to come to your tabletop. The second option is to step back to your plank pose and then lower the knees down to a modified plank. So the difference between this and our first option is that in our tabletop, the knees were underneath the hips. But in this pose, it's like we were in table and walked the knees back. So you can always get there this way, keeping the shoulders aligned over the wrist, give or take. Really press the mat away. Awesome. So in our modified plank, we take an inhale. As you exhale, we're going to find a chaturanga. So we bend into the elbows, elbow tips reach towards the back of your mat. So as you bend into the elbows, it's called a tricep push-up in real language terms, because chaturanga doesn't really explain what the pose is, but if you hear tricep push-up, you might understand. So instead of a push-up with the elbows reaching out to the sides, we're letting the elbow tips point back, like you're trying to squeeze the side bodies with your triceps. From here, we'll come all the way down to the belly. From here, we'll take the tops of the feet to the mat. Bloop. Press the tops of the feet down to the earth, so much so that the kneecaps start to lift. Squeeze your glutes, so that's your butt cheeks, and kind of pull the tailbone towards the heel. So just like when we were in our mountain pose and we lengthen through the low back, we're taking that here. Tops of the feet press down, tailbone lengthens. From here, press the palms into the earth. Take an inhale to lift the chest. Relax the shoulders down and away from the ears. Doesn't matter how far we lift the chest. We could be here, about maybe a centimeter off the mat. But if we're here, wherever we are, we think about the shoulder blades squeezing together and down the back. Maybe we're here. Maybe we're here. Maybe the back of the head is touching our tush. Who knows? Anything's possible. And then as you exhale, you'll release the belly down to the mat. We all tuck the toes. We'll meet in our modified plank with the knees down. So we extend the arms. Use your breath. And then as you exhale, we lift the hips up and back to find our down dog, Adho Mukha Shavasana. So take a moment in your dog, big breath in, full breath out. Beautiful, guys. Bending into the knees. So this time we are going to make our way to the top of the mat once more. You can take that walk, or maybe we take a big step. So as you bend into the knees, bring the weight into the hands. You can step right foot forward and then left foot forward, coming up onto the fingertips. Take an inhale to lift up halfway. Exhale to fold forward. Ground down through the heels. Reach the arms up. Take a big inhale. Exhale, hands into the heart or by your sides. Take a moment. Ground down. Adjust the feet if you'd like to. We're going to move through that one more time. So finding our way. As you inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hinge from the hips, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands. Now remember your options. So now you have two options. We can find that tabletop, some yummy cat-cows. We can find our modified plank, or I'll walk you through what would be a traditional vinyasa. Now, so as you step the feet back to your plank pose, in this traditional variation, we'll keep the knees lifted. Big inhale. Exhale, we find chaturanga here, or a tricep push-up. Bloop. Roll over the tops of the feet. So we lift the left foot. I'm doing slow motion. Lift the right. Inhale, straighten the arms to find your up dog. So up dog looks quite a lot like cobra, but in cobra, our hips are low. But in up dog, we lift the hips up away from the earth. Awesome. We all meet back in down dog, rolling over the tips of the toes. Take a big inhale there, and a big exhale. Awesome job. Bend into the knees, gaze to the front of the mat this time. So now you have two options already. You can either walk, you can take that big step, or maybe you take a hop. So I'm going to show you what that looks like if you hear this cue. We'll bend into the knees, gaze to the front of the mat, bring the weight into the hands as you start to straighten the legs and bring your chest forward. So we gaze forward towards maybe even somewhere outside of the top of the mat. And then you bend into the knees one more time. This time we weight into the hands. Press the hands down as you lift the feet up to bring the feet forward. So however you got there, we found our way to the top of the mat. Take an inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Ground down through the heels. Reach the arms up, inhale. Exhale, hands into the heart. So I'm actually going to do one more of these because I showed you kind of like steps. So I showed you a nice option for a cat-cow, a nice option with the knees down, a more traditional Surya Namaskar A with the vinyasa with chaturanga and up dog. And now I'm going to show you maybe one variation that might spice it up a little bit if you are feeling like you want a little more spice. If you want to sit this one out, by all means. If you want to take any of the other variations that I've told you, that is the name of the game here. So if you're with me, if you want to just watch me and check it out, as you inhale, we reach the arms up to the sky. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, here, we'll step the feet back. Take an inhale. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Now, if you'd like to spice this up on the exhale, instead of coming right into down dog, we'll flip over the toes, come back into your chaturanga. So we bend into the elbows, and then inhale, straighten the arms. Exhale to your down dog. Take a big breath in. That is spicy for sure. I felt that one. Take a big breath out. So there you have it. There's another option for you. So there's plenty, as always, and you can always take them whether someone cues them or not, especially in things like Surya Namaskar A and B. So now we're just going to go over that B. So bend into the knees, find your way, walk, step, maybe a hop. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, ground down through the feet, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands by your side. So we're just going to do 2 Surya Namaskar Bs before we are finished with this little foundational lesson. As you inhale, we'll reach the arms up. Exhale, bend into the knees. Now we're finding our chair pose. So the knees are bent, weight is into the heels. Hands can reach forward or hands can come to the heart. We'll take an inhale here. Exhale, straighten the legs as you hinge forward and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Now I'm not going to go over all those different options for you. We're going to find our vinyasa. So whatever your vinyasa is, whatever you choose in this moment, you find your way to your down dog. Awesome. Once you make it to your down dog, if you chose that little extra chaturanga, maybe it took a little longer, no big deal. We reach the right leg up to the sky, inhale. Exhale, right knee to the nose. Step the foot between the hands. Now, options here is to always, If the right knee doesn't quite come all the way up to the nose and we can't step the foot all the way forward to the top of the mat, no big deal. You can always come up and then adjust, or you can take your right hand, so ground down through the left hand, take the right hand and kind of shimmy that right foot forward, using your right hand to help you. For this first one, we're going to lower the left heel about 45 degrees, and then as you inhale, we reach up. So this first one I'm showing is the more traditional Surya Namaskar B with the warrior one. So hips are squared, right knee is bent, arms reach up to the sky. We'll take a moment here, take a big inhale, and exhale. One more inhale. Exhale, we're going to hinge forward, plant the hands, and move through a vinyasa. So again, I'm saying that word. So what does that mean for you in this moment? We all meet in down dog. Take a big inhale. Take a big exhale. Left leg reaches up to the sky, inhale. Exhale, knee to nose. Step the foot right between the hands. Back heel will drop for this traditional Surya Namaskar B as you reach the arms up, and we settle. On your next exhale, we'll hinge forward, plant the hands, move through your vinyasa. Maybe that's your cat-cows this time. Lift the hips up and back. Take an inhale. Take an exhale. Awesome. Bend into the knees. Journey yourself towards the top of the mat. So walk, step, hop. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. I have a snoring puppy over here. Inhale, this time lower the hips. So we're finding our chair pose as you reach the hands forward or to the heart. And then as you exhale, we find our mountain pose. Beautiful job, you guys. We're going to take one more just to kind of show you a different option that you can take, whether, as again, a teacher cues it or not, if they're walking you through the sequence of a B, and a warrior one might not necessarily be what's calling to you in this moment for whatever reason. Another option that there might be, as you inhale, we reach the arms up, exhale into your chair pose, lower the hips. Inhale here, exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, move through your vinyasa. So again, I know there's been quite a bit here. Maybe we take our cat-cows now. Lift the hips up. Beautiful. Right leg reaches up. Right knee to the nose or close to the nose. Maybe you shimmy it forward. Bloop. This time, even if warrior one is what's being cued, another option might be to lower that back knee, your left knee, reach the arms up to the sky, but squeeze that left glute as you reach the arms up. And then as you exhale, we lower the hands, step back to your table, your plank, whatever you're choosing, move through your vinyasa now. And then we'll meet back in down dog. And we'll take that to the other side. So left leg lifts, left knee to nose, shimmy it, step it forward. Right knee comes down, and we'll reach the arms up to the sky, and then we'll lower down. Find your way through your vinyasa. So again, maybe that's your tabletop. You know your options now. Maybe it's your modified plank. Maybe it's your full plank. Maybe you're taking the spicy version. And, I just mentioned a few. So I'll come to our knees, come to a seat. Any comfortable seat here. Maybe roll out through the shoulders. That was a lot on the down dogs. You can take a little hug here. Let's open the arms wide. Big inhale. Exhale, right arm underneath the left. Give yourself a hug as you round the spine. Inhale, reach. Exhale, right arm on top. Inhale, reach. Exhale, right arm reaches up. As you bend into the right elbow, we're going to bring the right hand behind the nape of the neck. And then you can reach the left hand out to the left, thumb faces down, bend into the left arm. Maybe you find your fingertips here, but you don't have to. You can be reaching for them. Nice long spine, and just a few breaths there. So while we're here in this stretch, I'm just talking a little bit. So a little thought that I had is that, a lot of the times you might feel the need to take the same variation the entire class, but I think a lot of the times we're going to switch sides. So as you inhale, we reach our arms up. Exhale, bend into the left elbow and right elbow, opposite directions. Don't have to touch the fingers. So a lot of the times we might want to find our way through a vinyasa in the beginning of class, maybe starting with those cat-cows. Maybe you're feeling a little lethargic, maybe it's nighttime, but then maybe towards the end of class you're getting the energy and you're like, oh, maybe I can get more into my plank pose now and let's do more chaturangas, or let's spice it up, whatever the case. And sometimes it's the opposite of that. Sometimes you start with the, for lack of better words, the harder variation, and then you start moving through your practice and you say, I want to slow it down. So release the hands. Take an inhale, reach the arms up. Maybe a little back bend if that feels good, and then let the hands just come down by your sides. So that being said, whether it's through 1 hour of class or through a whole week, like maybe one day you're feeling a little softer, and maybe another day you're feeling very strong. I find that to be very evident in my practice. Each day is very, very different. So honoring yourself, and I say that a lot, really honoring and listening to your body. But a lot of that comes with the knowledge of the options. I think my middle name should be options. So I believe that once you know all the options that are available to you, you are better equipped to really enjoy your yoga practice fully, to the most full extent. So that's what I'm trying to do here, and I hope that I've given you a little bit more knowledge, a little bit more courage to go and maybe do these things that you might not have tried before. Maybe you do want to try spicing it up one day just to check it out, or vice versa. The courage to take it back, slow down, and listen. That can be just as difficult a lot of the times. So thank you so much for being here with me as always. I appreciate you. The light in me will truly never stop shining, to the beautiful light in each of you. Namaste.